Straight ahead on WBKB, the country reaches a grim milestone in the pandemic.
Plus, Northern Michigan leaders praise Michigan Reconnect, and survivors of teen dating violence tell their stories.
You are watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Tyler Cruz.
And I'm Sherry Stewart. We'd like to open up tonight's newscast by remembering those lost to the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, the United States reached the very sad milestone of 500,000 Americans who have died from the coronavirus. President Biden will speak at a candlelight vigil for the deceased tonight, and the White House has ordered all flags to have staff to honor all lives that have been lost. More on this tonight on CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell. And the state of Michigan is reporting 1,484 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 3 deaths. These numbers are from Sunday and Monday. District Health Department number 4 is reporting 10 new cases today, and county case totals are listed on your screen. District Health Department number 2 is reporting 1 new case in Ogama County as of Monday. A total county-by-county case count for our viewing area is listed on your screen. For the latest on COVID-19 case totals, visit michigan.gov/coronavirus.
Well, legislative and educational leaders from Northern Michigan and the UP met with the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity to voice their support for the Michigan Reconnect program. So far, over 40,000 people have applied for free or discounted community college tuition with Michigan Reconnect. The program is for those 25 and over who don't have a college degree to earn tuition-free associate's degrees or skills certificates. Of the 4 million Michiganders eligible, 395,000 live in Northern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula, and over 14,000 Alpena residents are eligible for the scholarship. Alpena Community College President Don McMaster was on the call expressing his support for the program.
The program is ideal for people who had always planned to go to college, but life somehow got in the way. We see this all the time at community colleges, and Reconnect is going to be a huge benefit to those folks.
McMaster expects the Reconnect program to be an important piece in enrollment at ACC this year. While over 40,000 residents have applied, LEO Acting Director Susan Corbin says just applying isn't enough. The program's goal is to help residents land long-term careers.
Eligible Northern Michigan and Upper Peninsula residents are not only applying for Reconnect, but also working with the community college of their choice to get lined up with an education path that leads to a high-demand, rewarding career they will excel in.
Well, Michigan Reconnect is the largest effort in state history for adults 25 and older to earn a degree that can lead to a lifelong career.
Well, the University of Michigan's medical school is reporting what could be the first proven case of COVID-19 transmission through an organ transplant. WBKB's Tiffany Maddox has more.
Officials at the medical school say a Michigan woman who received a tainted double lung transplant from the donor contracted the virus and died 2 months after her surgery. According to reports from U of M's medical facility, the organ donor did have COVID-19 in the past, but had not shown any signs of illness and initially tested negative before donation. While this is an isolated incident, state procurement experts weigh in on why the pandemic has affected organ donation.
The pandemic definitely had a lot of impact. To begin with, in the early part of the pandemic, we didn't know or understand everything about the virus and how it spread and what impacted, how it affected people differently, nor exactly what the ramifications were for caring for a recipient who got an organ transplant.
Leslie says that right now, due to the pandemic, procurement specialists are taking extra precautions to avoid another mishap like the one described.
Perhaps a lot more attention is paid to things like travel and potential exposure, just so we have a clear picture to convey to the transplant centers. Obviously, we also have to, like everybody else, make sure that our staff is safe. And so we follow all the same protocols, screening, masks, distancing, and so forth as everyone else.
Reporting in Alpena, Tiffany Maddox, WBKB News.
Well, thanks for that, Tiffany. And a surgeon at U of M who handled the donor lungs was also infected with the virus and fell ill, but later recovered. According to Nicely, despite the pandemic, organ donation has seen a slow uptick in the state since April of 2020. If you'd like to become an organ donor, we have a link to Gift of Life of Michigan on our website.
Well, the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity has been awarded a $2.5 million federal grant to address healthcare staffing shortages in rural communities throughout the state. The funding is through the U.S. Department of Labor's H-1B Rural Healthcare Grant Program, which supports employment and training programs in healthcare in rural populations. The pandemic has increased the need for healthcare workers, particularly in rural areas where there was already an existing need. Over the next 4 years, the grant will support the addition of more than 430 new healthcare workers for communities in need. The grant program aims to help individuals gain the skills necessary to provide needed services, fill vacancies, and allow employers to find skilled workers more readily.
Well, it's Teen Dating Violence Month, and WBKB's Kent Davis recently talked about warning signs. Today, Stephanie Manici speaks with survivors. Here's more.
Teen dating violence has now become an epidemic. 1 in 3 teens will experience physical or sexual violence at the hands of a partner. Hope Shore's outreach and services advocate Sierra Conan says 2 common denominators serve as warning signs.
So power and control is a big dynamic in a lot of different types of, violence and things like that. So jealousy is a huge factor, and it plays a lot of different roles in all of the violences.
Teen dating violence survivor Jocelyn Bordoni says she was 18 and in her first year of college when she met her abuser. Bordoni shares the first time she saw signs of control.
It was due to being coming home late from work. So there was a lot of blaming myself at first and not really understanding what was going on.
Bordoni says she dealt with her pain by using drugs and heavy drinking. She says her relationship with her abuser ended when physical abuse landed her in the hospital and her grandmother came to her aid. Hope Shore's director Jillian Ferguson says there's a pattern of coercive, manipulative.
Thanks for that, Stephanie. And for more information on where you can get help here in Alpena, you can call 800-396-9129.
Well, there's more news ahead for you here on WBKB. It's National Margarita Day. Find out one surprising ingredient that could take your drink to the next level.
Also, we'll look ahead to a brief cool down coming up later this week. Is all ahead later in the newscast.
Thanks for that, Ellie. Well, here's how it starts. We stay in the 40s for a little bit, then we go to the 50s, then all of a sudden it's July, hopefully. Today is National Margarita Day, so we popped in at Mango's Tequila Bar to learn more about the country's favorite cocktail. Bartender Danielle Hunter says margaritas are a very versatile cocktail. Bartenders can use a wide variety of tequilas and spirits to make this sweet and sour drink. Hunter says the salt on the rim is especially important. It mutes some of the bitterness and brings out the main flavors. While many people use lime for a chaser, Hunter says one vegetable actually works better.
I recommend pickle juice. I found that to be a much better follow for tequila. I believe it's probably from the vinegar, but it totally cleans your palate. It's like you didn't do a shot of tequila at all. The taste is totally gone after you taste it with pickle juice.
Hunter says drinkers should pace themselves. Margaritas aren't as filling as other cocktails, but can have a similar alcohol content. As with any alcoholic beverage, you should always know your limits and always enjoy responsibly.
For sure.
Yes.
Well, after nearly a year of stay-at-home orders and travel restrictions, a recent report says Michigan's tourism industry is beginning to show signs of life.
A recent survey of American travelers finds that U.S. trip planning is growing dramatically. 80% of respondents said they plan to travel within the next 6 months. That's up from 65% just a month ago. For Dave Lorenz, Vice President of Travel Michigan, that's a pure indication that things are starting to head in the right direction.
And as people have now discovered how they can travel safely here in Pure Michigan and elsewhere around the world, I think people are starting to really understand that we're on the other side of this situation.
Loren says Michigan is a top destination, especially in the wake of COVID-19.
Michigan has that perfect mix of nature and in urban experiences as well that people are looking for today. You know, most people right now aren't really looking to go to a big city. They kind of want to stay out of big cities. For the time being, that will come back very soon. But right now, they're looking for big open spaces. They're looking to get in the middle of nature. You think about what Michigan is best known for, that's it.
Now, whether you're traveling by plane, train, or automobile, be sure to check in ahead of time to your final destination to ensure that you are up to date on any and all social distancing guidelines. Travel experts say the focus for many trip planners is shorter trips that rebuild confidence and give us back a bit of normalcy again. Next week, we'll take a look at how you can snag a deal on summer travel. And coming up on WBKB News, Ellie Morrison is next with your 7-day forecast, plus the photo of
trunks to see insects. Thank you, Mary, for sending us this photo. If you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you'd like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@WBKB11.com.
I'm going to need some more shots of those birds dive bombing down trees to believe that. No, I'm just kidding. Well, sports is coming up next, and we'll have your top plays. But first, Jake Vandenbroek is in with a preview. Jake, what's going on?
Yeah, Tyler, Monday. So we have your top plays of the week, and a few moves from wrestling made our list. Plus, the Michigan High School Athletic Association has pushed back the start of spring sports. So what is that new date? Find out.
That's all we have for you this evening.
You can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle @WBKB11.
And be sure to catch us back here tonight at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.